Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Javid Ali from Department of Pharmaceutics, Faculty of Pharmacy, Jamia Hamdard. And today we are going to discuss about a module which is dealing with the rheological aspects of cosmetics and toiletries under paper cosmetics. In the present module, we are going to introduce what rheology means, the assessment of these rheological properties, what are rheological additives which are being used, the rheology of nail products, the rheology of antiperspirant and deodorants, rheology of dentifrices, and the rheology of hair care products. The rheological properties of creams and lotions will also be discussed. Then predicting the stability in the rheologically modified system, and finally rheological profiles. Coming to the flow characteristic of cosmetics and toiletries, what flow means? Flow means motion and rheology, which is a term that describes the science or study of how things flow. Every cosmetic and toiletry product have their specific rheological properties like flowing, vibrating, slipping, dripping, running, sputtering, oozing, and seeping. Rheology is a study of deform and flow under the influence of external forces. Reiner and Bingham invented the scientific discipline of rheology. The knowledge of rheology is important in the manufacturing and applications of plastic materials, lubricating materials, coating inks, adhesives, food, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, and toiletries. Cosmetic and toiletries have remarkable flow properties, but generally we are not aware of it. Rheology is defined as the study of how materials deform and flow under the influence of external forces. To characterize the rheological behavior of cosmetics and toiletry products, first we need to define certain terms. And the first term which is being used in order to explain rheology is in terms of shear stress. At rest, the material has a thickness, length, and width. It must be assumed that the material is stationary and the top is movable. Under the stress, the upper layer is displaced and by the length and thickness. The shear stress is defined as a force over the area and is represented by F by A and represented by Pascal. The changes in the shear rate application, the changes in the stress are well described in the flow curves as given in the figure. In Newtonian liquids, the viscosity is constant as a function of shear stress, and the example of Newtonian liquids are water, mineral oil, sugar solution, etc. In non-Newtonian liquid, the viscosity is not constant but changes as a function of shear rate as given in the figure with various other variables to describe the various types of flow. Many fluids exhibit decrease in viscosity with increase in shear rate. This behavior of fluid is referred to as a shear thinning, in which resistance of material to flow decreases and the energy required to sustain flow at a high shear rate is reduced. These materials are called as pseudoplastic. For example, of pseudoplastic material are emulsion, dispersions, cream, lotions, and suspensions. Sometimes plastic fluids are pseudoplastic liquids when it exhibits yield value. At rest, they behave like a solid due to their interparticle association, but in the presence of external force which overcomes these internal forces and disrupt the internal structure of the material and make it to flow as liquid. The material that behave as a rigid body at low stress but flow as a viscous fluid at high stress known as Bingham plastic. It is widely used in mathematical model of mud flow in drilling engineering. The example of Bingham plastic is toothpaste, mayonnaise, chocolate, and mustard. Dilatant fluids or shear thinning fluids are those material whose viscosity increases with increase in the applied stress. These materials have unique property of being able to convert from liquid to solid just by applying stress. These materials have opposite property of shear thinning fluids. Thixotropy is a time-dependent shear thinning property, and this property is exhibited by non-Newtonian liquid. They return to their original viscosity with time only after the removal of shear force. Tomato ketchup is an example of thixotropy. Thixotropic behavior is also shown when shear rate is plotted against viscosity and the hysteresis loop is formed in between up curve and the down curve, which define the energy required to break down the network structure of the material. The instruments which are used for assessment of rheological properties of cosmetic and toiletries include bubble and cup viscometers, falling ball or a falling rod viscometer, capillary viscometers, rotational rheometers, and concentric cylinder rheometers, which is blend of Newtonian and non-Newtonian types of flow measurements. Now coming to rheological additives, why they are used in cosmetic preparations. The main goal of the cosmetic manufacturer is to control the rheology of cosmetic products by adding different additives, and when they are used for modifying rheological properties, they are being termed as rheological additives, and they are generally thickener or viscosity modifiers. The table shows a list of naturally derived additives which are widely used in cosmetic products, like from plant microbial source, from animal source, and so on. In case of plant, the various originated types of exudate from tree and shrub, seed extracts, seaweed extracts, and tree extracts, fruit extracts, grains and roots are being used. And these additives include caraya gum, tragacan gum, gum arabica, which are generally the exudates from trees, and seed extracts like guar gum, locust bean gum, and various other gums are also being categorized as. The seaweed extract like carrageenan, alginates, and agar, they are also being used in cosmetic products. Tree extracts like larch gum, then fruit extracts, pectin, widely used. Grains and fruits like from starches are being collected. They are all viscosity modifier and rheological additives from plant source. When you talk of microbial source based product, they widely include xanthan gum and dextran. The animal uh, source based rheological additives include milk protein like casein, skin and bone like gelatin and keratin, and insect secretion widely used is the shellac. The various tables which talks about the modified natural rheological additives, synthetic rheological additives, and the inorganic rheological additives. The modified natural rheological additives include various cellulose derivatives and guar derivatives which are being obtained from wood pulp and seed extracts. The synthetic includes acrylic acid polymer or polyacrylamides which are petroleum based. Then we have inorganic rheological additives like clays and amorphous silicon dioxide, which includes the organoclays and hydrated silica. When we talk of rheology of nail product, the nail products they include nail color, nail lacquer, nail varnish, and nail polish, which have been widely used to enhance the beauty of nails. And the ingredients which are used in nail polish are like lacquers, suspending agents, colorant, pigments, and special additives for claims or functions. Coming to the rheology of antiperspirant and deodorants, There has been wide development in the history of antiperspirant and deodorants, which has greatly affected the rheological characteristic of these products. Earlier, simple solution of aluminum chloride in alcohol were used as antiperspirant. With the change of time in 1970s, chlorofluorocarbons were used in these products. The different type of antiperspirant deodorants with different logical properties include roll-ons, and the example of this type of roll-ons are also given in market as different types of products. Roll-ons are very fluid in nature and need to have tight logical control. Mostly roll-ons products are suspensions. There are two types of roll-on, the aqueous roll-on and the suspension roll-ons. The aqueous roll-ons is the first roll-on products available as solutions of aluminum chlorohydrates in a simple emulsion system. Both emulsion Both aluminum chlorohydrates and aluminum zirconium chlorohydrates are used in aqueous systems. These two products are used in combination with glycine to inhibit the tendency of gelling and buffer the irritancy effects. These two products are used in combination with glycerine to inhibit the tendency of gelling and buffer the irritancy effects. The examples are enormous, which are available in the market. Suspension roll-ons are the products which are widely marketed in United States as suspensions of the active ingredients in volatile silicones. And this type of roll-on suspension of powdered form of antiperspirant active in silicone are formulated. The first products was marketed by Gillette Dry Idea, and they are available as aluminum zirconium salt for as a suspension roll-on. Sticks. The stick type products are also having a logical problem at the time of processing. The active ingredients used in this type of products are finely sized and having slower settling rate. The transfer of products due to the intimate contact between sticks and arms results in flow which must be smooth and effortless. These sticks are also of two types: antiperspirant suspension sticks and deodorant sticks. Antiperspirant suspension sticks, these type of sticks are basically composed of active ingredient suspended in a volatile silicone base, thickened by a sterile alcohol carbowax matrix. This matrix complex get breakdown under pressure and allow the particles to become active. The composition of this type of stick includes the active ingredients, which is generally aluminum, zirconium, tetrachlorohydrate, and in combination various PAGs, dyes, fragrance, oils, etc., along with powder is being used. Deodorant sticks. This type of sticks have enjoyed a wide acceptance. The purpose of this stick is to mask the malodor caused by bacteria over skin. It usually contains sodium stearate as a gelling agent and a blend of propylene glycol and ethanol as the base fluid. Aerosols. And aerosols are colloids of fine solid particles or liquid droplets in air or another gas. In pressurized aerosols, the configuration inside the actuator button is critical to the spray rate, spray shape, and droplet size. Rheological additives must be included in the formula to help with suspension, to ensure uniform dose of spray, and to avoid hard packing or caking of the ultimately settled product. The composition of the aerosol includes the active ingredients, which are again the aluminum chlorohydrate salt, which is used to enhance the efficiency, fluids like isopropyl myristrate, volatile silicones, which are used as emollient to lubricate the wall, suspending agent like organoclase or fumed silica, which is used to ensure homogeneity, activators like propylene carbonate and ethanol, which act as polar activators, fragrance to provide fragrance to formulation, and propellants to produce pressurized gas for creating the movement of fluids. There are many types of aerosols available like perspirant, antiperspirant, aerosol cans, deodorant, aerosol cans, antiperspirant and deodorant pumps, etc. The factors which affect the flow properties of antiperspirant and deodorants are: number one, the formulation components. It involves particle size of the active substitution of activated salts and fragrances. Processing factors like which involve dispersion of rheological additives, laminar flow, emulsification, critical heating or cooling stage. Rheology of Dentifrices. Dentifrices are the agents which are used along with toothbrush to clean and polish natural teeth. The major function of dentifrice is to remove stain from natural teeth by abrasive action, refreshment and cleaning of the oral cavity by virtue of the flavor content and cleansing agent. A typical composition of dentifrice include dicalcium phosphate dehydrate, anhydrous dicalcium phosphate, sodium monofluorophosphate, glycerine, carboxymethyl cellulose grades, 7-MX, sodium lauryl sulfate, flavors, sodium benzoate, sodium saccharine, and water. These includes abrasives, surfactants, humectants, binding agents, flavors, preservative, sweeteners, which comprises of the whole dentifrices. The dentifrice behavior depends on the rheological properties, like a homogeneous ribbons must be formed upon extrusion from container. Dentifrice should not flow out from the uncapped tube in the absence of extrusion pressure. Only minimum pressure is required for extrusion out of dentifrice. There must be sharp, clean break of the ribbon after the desired amount of dentifrice has been extruded out from the container. Flavor should be released quickly and the foam quality is pleasant and the foam volume is appropriate. Spittle is easily rinsed from the sink. Physical stability during storage. It must be compatible with the dispensing mechanism. A properly formulated dentifrice will not flow until a certain amount of stress is applied. The rheology and stability of dentifrice depends on its ingredients. The two main factors are the ability of polymer system to maintain the abrasive in suspension and the ability of the polymer system to prevent synergies in a lean solvent system. The rheological properties of the dentifrice affected by various factors involved during manufacture of dentifrice include the permanent breakdown of polymer by excessive shearing, change in the behavior of the polymer at molecular level, degradation of polymer by heat introduced into the mixtures, vessels, and pipes, irreversible destruction of three-dimensional network structures involving the polymer. Now, coming to hair care products rheology. Hair care products include hair gels, hair sprays, hair shampoos, and hair conditioners. Coming to the hair gels can be conveniently classified as styling and sculpting gels or as activators and conditioning gels. Hair gels must be crystal clear and should possess plastic shear thinning rheology. The delivery of hair fixative without leaving sticky residue is required. The list of ingredients used in the formulation of hair settling gels are given in the table here, where we use a hair fixative polymer, a gelling agent, a humectant and a solvent, fragrance, preservative, chelating agent, and a UV screen as well. Coming to the gelling agents, carbomers are commonly used and they are available in different grades from 934, 940, and 941. And these are the gelling agents which are preferred because they form crystal clarity and plastic shear thinning rheology. Triethanolamine and triisopropylamine are commonly used neutralizing bases in hairstyling gel formulation. The amount of gelling agents in the formulation must be limiting due to its hygroscopic nature, which increases the absorption of atmospheric moisture and lead to the plasticization of the fixative film. Ultraviolet screen carbomers are degraded by the UV radiation, and it is advisable to add ultraviolet screen to gel formulations. generally 0.1% of benzophenone 4 suffix to stabilize the formulation against degradation. Chelating agents, trace amount of transition metal present, especially iron, catalyzes degradation of carbomers in gels. And to avoid this degradation, a small amount of disodium EDTA is added in the gel. Coming to the hairspray are used as hair fixative products, and they are used to for various reasons like improving hairstyle hold, easy application to wet hair, ease of combing, no sticky feel, quick drying time, and does not become powdery when brushed or combed, etc. The rheological requirement of hairsprays include the product must exit from spray nozzle as mist droplet, and the product must spread along the hair fibers, and the polymer film must adhere to the surface of hair. Coming to shampoos and conditioner, many modern shampoos and conditioners available in the market contain dispersed phase, and the rheological properties of these products are affected by the surfactant micellar structure or by the use of the suitable rheology modifier or thickener. Associative thickeners offer the following benefit. They interact with other ingredients present in the formulation to form a shear sensitive network structure. The formulator can manipulate the rheology of products by adding surfactant or co-solvents to alter the network structure. Adsorption of polymer provides colloidal stability of the dispersed phase, which prevent flocculation and settling upon storage. The rheological properties of emulsion, including creams and lotion. An emulsion is the simplest form in a two-phase system, containing two immiscible liquid, one of which is dispersed in the form of microscopic or submicroscopic droplets. The two phases are oil and water, producing oil in water or water in oil emulsion. The cream should be thick enough to have good body, but break down under shear to rub in quickly without excessive play time. And a lotion should be thin enough to be pumped easily but resist breakdown to give a long rub in order to ensure an even application of eventual color. The emulsifier that gives stability to the cosmetic emulsion is a molecule in the form of one non-polar hydrocarbon end and the other polar end as shown in the figure. The wide classification of cosmetic emulsifier are being used for the preparation of these cosmetic products. The different types of surfactant like anionic and non-ionics are used. And anionic surfactant include esters, heavy metal soaps, alcohol, and phospholipids. And the non-ionic surfactants include polymers, which are used for one or the other reason. The combination of oil and water phase in the presence of an emulsifier is a challenging task owing to the factors such as undesirable rheological properties like too thin or too thick that will influence its application on skin, does not rub easily, or difficulties for engineer while mixing, pumping, and filling the finished product. The addition of many ingredients to the oil and water phase results in the creation of complex sets of interaction that will affect the rheology of the emulsion. And the rheological profile of emulsion is the fastest and easiest means for determining the response of an emulsion to shear. A rheometer can be used to measure the effects of extended mixing and determine the viscosity and the amount of thixotropy before and after mixing. Coming to prediction of stability in rheologically modified systems. Thermal stress, change of temperature. The accelerated thermal stress study is an important type of a thermal stress study in which accelerated aging at both elevated temperature and reduced temperature is being done. And the temperature variations are -10, 4, 37, and 50 degrees Celsius. And they are used to predict the stress study. Physical stress methods include centrifugation, and in this type of physical stress methods, in which if the system survives after centrifugation, then its relative stability is substantiated. Optical light diffusion, the amount of light reflected by dispersed system, is related to the surface area of the suspended phase, and the refractive index difference between them. Microscopy is also being done, in which the microscope is used to observe changes in emulsion character with qualitative success, and it is very quick and powerful technique. Conductivity measurement, which is a useful method even if it is done with a pH meter, and this method is used to identify the phase inversion temperature and the liquid crystalline mesophases. So student, let us summarize what we have learned in the present module. We have talked about the importance of rheology in cosmetic products, the rheological properties assessment being done, how they are being done in cosmetic products, the various rheological aspects of cosmetic products, how the stability is predicted in the rheologically modified system, and finally the rheological profiles have also been taken care. Thank you.